they're charitable guys. They're guys that believe in the community and part of the community every time you come here. And I know Bubba Watson's awesome. Bubba, when he would come through here, always going to a Yard Goats game. Always going to a Red Sox or a Yankee game if he had the extra day. Things like that. These guys, listen, they live a life on the outside of playing on the PGA Tour. And so they appreciate everything that Andy Bissett, the COO of Travelers, and Nathan Grube, what they've done for the last 2 decades to take care of them, their families, their caddies families, and make sure that when they come to Cromwell, Connecticut, even though it's a little piece of our paradise here in Connecticut, it's funny because I was looking at Will Ferrell and his Hawk character, and he talked about Cromwell is the Paris of Connecticut.
Yeah.
That was his one line.
That's what a line that is.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to borrow that from Will Ferrell and his character, Lonnie Hawkins, who's on the comeback trail here at the Travelers. These guys get it. The fans get it.
Yeah.
I talk about the 4,000 volunteers and people taking this whole week off. People I've worked with, and I mean, this is my 14th straight Travelers, doing the show from the radio deck here. There's a guy named Randy Moore that caddies, and he comes here. He volunteers during the week. He works at ESPN. He's a fabulous cat. That's what you have here. It's not just, hey, there's a nice event going on for a week. It's everybody wants to be involved to make it the best event of the year.
Yeah, and the fans will tell you it is the best, right? It's
right.
New England's premier signature tournament, and from security and police on hand to over 4,000 volunteers on site.
Can't forget them.
Yep.
Can't forget Laz Parking. They do an amazing job getting people in and out of here.
Oh, so efficient.
You haven't seen that yet. Wait till Friday.
I think I'm going to experience it
Saturday or Sunday.
There was like a little bit yesterday. I'm like, this is just a tease for it because I know how the traffic can be in New England.
I think
it's
Sunday they probably get 50 grand. At least 50,000 people here.
They do. I mean, you're coming here one way or the other in some sort of. But the fans are just, everybody's in a good mood walking around. You see it. Everybody's friendly. Everybody's interactive. Whether again to the security guards, to people shuttling us to the media center just to get us lunch. It's great, and I think the golfers appreciate it too. I think even yesterday for the younger kids and the fans. Golfers and people look up to us and we're fans, but they appreciate the fans. Maybe they have a funny one-liner or something like that, and then you strike up a little bit of a conversation with these guys too. And this is one of those events where you really can do that. And there's going to be a lot of major names, a lot of players for fans to follow. So there's going to be a lot of big crowds on every hole, which is great too.
Right.
All 18, no matter what, leading to the back nine on Sunday, but. Conditions right now, if they continue and we don't get a ton of rain, I think there's some coming overnight into tomorrow. So you talk about the morning conditions tomorrow. You get rain about 5 or 6 a.m. Some of those guys, and they'll swap. The guys going later go in the morning tomorrow. A chance for some of those guys to climb up the leaderboard too.
Well said. And Matt Fitzpatrick, he actually did bogey a hole today. I was looking at Cole, Echeverry, Griffin. Nobody bogeyed.
Bogey three's nice.
For Fitzpatrick was the first to bogey. He had 7 birdies. So he scored really well.
Could have been tied for the lead.
It was like hole number 3 or 4. He could be tied for the lead. And that's what you're going to see. Here's the thing. This is a fun tournament because there's going to be a lot of people that are jockeying for position. I personally like the cut. But even without the cut,
more motivation.
It's still fantastic, and there's still a sense of urgency once you hit Saturday and Sunday. And we'll be here. We're going to be here 10 to noon on Saturday and 10 to 12:30
10 to 12:30. Yeah, 10 to 12:30 Saturday, 10 to noon on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, leading into Yankees. Yep.
And we only do that this time of year. That's the thing, because it's worth it. It's worth it to come out here.
Yeah.
Because things are going to change so quickly. I love popping on in the morning and doing a couple hours from here because you can feel the vibe. People get here very early. It just reminds me of NASCAR so much because, like you said, you're picking a golfer or a driver, and you're sticking with them, and you're going to stick with them throughout the week and the weekend. And now with the no cut, you can definitely follow your favorite golfer. And these guys are ambassadors.
Yeah.
These guys are ambassadors, like you said. Like you got with Patrick Cantlay and a lot of these other golfers. They know that the next generation, if they're not treated well, somebody might be like, three. I remember going to a D2 school before I played professional baseball, and our tennis and golf was amazing because there was no football program.
Right.
So some of these D2, D3 programs that might not have maybe a football program, they concentrate more on the golfing, the tennis, and some of the sports like that. So, it's incredible how many of those kids are affected by how they're treated by these pros on tour throughout this week.
You're right. It's so well said because every single one of these guys, 49 of the top 50 that have teamed it up, they're all ambassadors.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They take the time to be with the fans. Those kids maybe golfing may not be. They may want to take it up. You grow the game. That's what it's all about. That's the impact you can have as an athlete now. The best thing you can do is help grow the game for the future generations, right? And I think all these guys have done that. But Scotty also was quoted in an article I'm pulling up now by Yahoo Sports. Again, had nothing but nice things to say about the tournament. But he said, I think it's a golf course you have to be surprisingly patient on in his pre-tournament press conference yesterday because they can put the pins in some areas of the greens that are pretty small. It's a golf course where bogeys are going to hurt you pretty significantly. So keeping a clean card and giving yourself a lot of looks is, I think, underrated on this golf course. So there you have it from the world number one. He knows. And Scotty's the one he'll hit that smart shot. He'll hit a 5-iron off the tee if needed because he's eliminating the mistakes. So a guy like Matt Fitzpatrick, I don't think a bogey in the first round is going to cost him the Travelers Tournament championship by any means.
You just want to have a nice score the first day, couple of days. A nice -6 or a nice -7 like Cole.
Yep.
You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. They're already behind us. They're on the putting green practicing. They're on the driving range.
Yep.
The guys who already finished their round. The other guys who just started their day. They're out there on the front nine. Very impressive, though. If you've never been, we want you to come out here for the first time. And if you're somebody that's come here many, many times, you already know how well treated you're going to be when you hit the Travelers. From the way they get you in here from the parking lot to all the concessions to all the places now where you have watering holes and places with air conditioning and stuff like that. That's a lot of what this weekend is going to be all about because right now. It would be perfect. It was 82 degrees and kind of breezy like this through Sunday.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, knowing mentally as a golfer that the conditions aren't going to change either. So if you make some mistakes in round one, you can learn and you can on off the front. It might be a different pin location, but the contour of the green based on the conditions, which is so imperative at the end of the day here. But a guy like Cole too, see what he can do in round two. He goes out in the afternoon. He's got the lead as of now, 7 under 63. That's a great score on a course like this because remember, there's only those 2 par 5s.
Yep.
So for the long hitters, those are the ones you can strike. But the second par 5, it's so tough off the tee because you've got the water and you've got the out of bounds as well. But I think the hole Fitzpatrick bogeyed, which I believe was hole 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's statistically the hardest hole on the golf course. It's a long par 4. It's like 470, 480. So I think that's a hole that might eat up a couple of guys.
I think that's the number one handicapped hole here on this course. I was just looking up Chez Reavie. I remember interviewing him about a decade ago, and he was relatively unknown. Came up here on a Thursday, did an interview with us. He ended up winning the tournament. This is
so it was you. Good luck.
Yeah, well, good luck. But even the young guys or the guys who get some exemptions, even the amateurs that play here, anybody can shoot a great couple of rounds and get in there on Saturday and Sunday and compete. That's the beauty of Cromwell.
Yes.
Now, if you're at the U.S. Open, like we talked about, Rory was 6 over, Spieth was 10 over. Some of the best names in the world missed the cut.
Yeah.
Some of these courses aren't as forgiving, and that's the one thing that for more than a dozen years that I've been doing this for 14 now, counting this year, is that you're rewarded for good play, and you're going to get penalized badly when you hit a miss shot.
Yeah.
And like you said, the fescue is very long. You've played this course. And they've the last 4 months they've been growing it. But I also think that's what golf's all about, man, is testing these guys. You don't want them to come back here every year and score -20, -22.
No, that's not going to happen.
You want Saturday and Sunday to be madness, chaos, and I can't remember one of these tournaments where it wasn't that on Saturday and Sunday here at the Travelers.
I think no cut in particular does help for that event too, right? Because these guys are guaranteed to play 72 holes, so there's more of a chance for more guys and more action and more of a crowded leaderboard when you come up to Sunday. And like you said, you've been doing it 14 years. There's probably not been one Sunday that hasn't been exciting, and I can pretty much almost guarantee as my first, it'll be awesome to experience it live, but it's going to be great. And yes, the rough has been grown since I played it in May, but that's what the best golf courses in the world are like that. Yeah, there's the really hard ones because I like seeing Shinnecock Hills because it really humbles these guys and makes me feel good about my lousy game. But you look at some of the other, a course like this, a TPC River Highlands, maybe a TPC Sawgrass as well. It rewarding golfers for the good shots. An aggressive shot, maybe, but it's still a good shot. Like, instead of laying up on a par 5, I want to take it, carry the bunker in the water, and land it on the green. I think that's huge. And punishing them for making a mistake and also being too aggressive. There's a fine line. That's why these guys are pro golfers. That's why they're going to make that decision. It can be the difference of, last year. I know he's out on the course right now, Tommy Fleetwood. I remember vividly, he's got a one-shot lead. He's overthinking. I think he grabbed like a 6-iron. Looked at his caddy, kind of was rubbing the club around in his hands, and then second-guessed himself, went back to a club that was a little bit shorter. He leaves the ball short, bogeys the hole, Keegan Bradley birdies. Keegan Bradley goes on to win the tournament.
Right.
Those are the decisions that it comes down to, especially with a course like this, too, because he landed it short on a green where the ball rolled off. If he goes an extra 15 yards, clubs up an iron, that could be on the green. It could be a different story.
Well, and Michael, to your point, Keegan